Hello everybody, welcome to Prime Time. Today we are going to discuss about NATO transfer F-16 to Ukraine. Russia has warned to transfer of F-16 fighter jet to Ukraine raises the risk of NATO getting involved in conflict now. This follow pledges from European allies at the G7 summit in Japan to supply arms and artillery, including to the US and aircraft. Ukrainian President Volodymyr has assumed of Washington that his war plan would be used to be a Russian territory during what turned out to be a highly successful visit to Japan. Since the start of Russia intervention of Ukrainian president has had one consistent messages for his Western allies, more weapons for Ukrainian at the G7 summit in Japan. Long-hauled aviation come from overcoming US resistance to supplying the Ukrainian F-16 fighter jet with thousands of F-16s in service in dozen countries. Warsaw fighters is seen by Kiev as the best aircraft to challenge Russia air superiority. President Joe Biden has long demand for fear of the conflict spreading behind Ukraine border, but it's after allies such the UK and Netherlands pushed for sending the US-made jet to Ukraine. Biden told to President Ukrainian he had a final dropped his objection. I told the United States together with our allies and partners is going to begin training Ukrainian pilot is a fourth generation fighter aircraft, including F-16. Ukraine Air Force as a part of a long-term commitment to Ukrainian ability to defend itself, we provide last year. All that they needed to deal with what they were dealing with at the moment, and that's when now we are moving in the direction of putting him in a position to be able to defend themselves in the ways beyond the Ukrainian allies are free to donate the F-16 to Ukraine. We are working on it, I'm sure, because we are already know how country will work and will work on that even before we unlocked a training program for F-16. We will get the plan for now. Can't say how many. It's not a secret. Don't know myself. Russia has to dismiss the impact of a fighter jet could be have on a battlefield. It suggests their use could raise the specter of NATO involvement in the conflict, but in the past, Moscow threats have failed to prevent Ukraine from upgrading its arsenal. Police. We are joined now by Mike Martin, a senior fellow in the War Studies Department at King's College London. Good to see you, Mike. Good morning. You do agree that supplying of F-16 Ukraine drug NATO deeper or even more directly into the conflict. I don't know the really What we are hearing from Russia is an echo of what we have heard throughout the conflict. First we had heard it anti-armor weapon, then military, and then longer range artillery. And at each stage, Russia has said, or if you do that, it will be escalate the war to a new level. There will be unimaginable consequences, and each stage those weapons had been supplied the war. Has also unimaginable consequences have occurred. I think I would be turned it back on Russia. Say that they have invaded a neighboring country and committed war crime, and that above a high you can be a equal scale now. We know that Ukraine is not a NATO member. So how far NATO and the West go in the supply of Ukraine weapon? It can be continue as it is now. Perhaps if you look at the other conflict like Afghanistan in 1980s, an American supply a wide range of weapons for a long time, and Mujahideen in Afghanistan, or indeed Russia supplied weapons to various sides in a Cold War. During the Cold War to conflict in Africa like Angola, and so whether they could be a NATO country could not affect the rate or the length of time that's a European country or a medical supply weapon to Ukraine. Okay, now we are saying that they are working to pressure F-16 fighter for Ukraine. You can tell us what country will supply the jet, and when could they strictly be in operation in Ukraine? This is why F-16 team has chosen. Because over 4,500 being produced in over 20 countries have been in their inventory. So just looking around Europe, Denmark, Norway, Portugal, Greece, Poland, Turkey, a number of countries in the Middle East as well. So all of those countries now have the option now that America has given the green light of supplying jet to Ukraine. I think probably the earliest that they are going to get to there, and I think it could be actually hard work. It's about training pipeline is probably in the autumn, so let's say October, and reason for that is normally training pipeline for F-16 pilot is 18 months. They have done some recent test and found that they can do it, they can compress it if you strip everything out in the 4 or 5 months. And so that's why I think we are looking at the autumn as the earliest. Okay, so what difference could be F-16 fighter make in Ukraine? I mean, President has been pushing for jet for a long time. What difference on the ground could that make? It be important to note the Russia failed to gain air supremacy in this war. So the airspace content, both sides have airspace and jet and helicopter, but what the F-16 does is massively boost Ukraine air force in number and in the quality of jet, and especially what they will be using these jet for is to strike Russia target in real. So it's a bit like a recent Storm Shadow cruise missile that is the UK have provided. What the allow Ukraine do it the hit a logistics command and control all those important things that you need a warfare, but well behind the Russia lines, so hundreds of kilometers behind the Russia line, and it will be start see a lot of more of the go into the autumn, and you think saying that this could be make significant difference in the direction that this conflict is taking. I think it's an extra layer. I'm very to say this piece of technology will be a game changer. Everything is healed as a game charger. But what I think this does is the continues to keep the pressure on Russia, and it continue incredibly increase your Ukrainian capability, and that really what we have been doing over the last year, degrading Russia ability fighter war, incredibly increasing Ukraine ability to fight war. Mike, thanks so much for that. Martin for King's College, London. Have a nice day. Bye bye.